All right, welcome back to another Monday session, Monday weekly session instead of Sunday. As we switch over to this day because of Martin Luther King Jr. Day, I decided to switch over, and I updated you guys. So hopefully you guys are ready. Had a great long weekend so far. Study up, ready for another week ahead of us in the market. And I'm ready also. We had a really great week last week. Many plays. And things were kind of becoming very actives as I expected. I mean, we had this end of the year of 2022 very slow. Not a lot of volume has been traded, and we started off in January with a lot of activities. Normally, when you're in the cycle of trade, when you see many cycles, you kind of adapt yourself with this mentality to when are the good times that you will see much more activities in the broad market, also in small caps. That cycles usually helps you to create that I guess great mentality towards market, how to size in, size up, and manage your position, manage your risk. Do you need to really sit down and trade every single day? Do you really want to take advantage of all the moves? And what exactly going on with the liquidity issue? I mean, there's this liquidity risk. It's very important than other factors, other indicators like I don't know interest rates or um, purchasing power risk. I mean, these are the stuff that you really need to think about before making any trades. So the cycle kind of shift. I can see that. I also believe that January usually can be lesser active than spring, but it's been pretty active. I saw we had so many alerts going on so far. Our watch list is it's over still at that four key tickers that I'm looking for forward, but who knows, maybe next week we would have 10 tickers. But the point of sending out all these watch lists, I'm trying to help you guys to do the due diligence. I break down everything that we had from last week, so it's kind of like helping you guys to faster to process faster on all these tickers, so it gives you a better idea. It doesn't necessarily means that they are tradable. It's going to uh you know um pump again upcoming week. If it doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to have any sort of volume trade um for the upcoming weeks. It's just an idea that we traded that we traded that trend of that ticker previous week, and we want to see if that's really a potential trade to have this continuation uh, towards their towards the next week. So that's a goal of sending you out all these watch lists. I mean, you can have 20,000 of tickers on your watch list, but that creates a problem because you lost your focus. You're not going to have and you're not going to narrow down everything and just focus on few tickers. Obviously, every single day when we're trading small caps, we see new runners, we see new tickers, new pumpers, new volumes traded. And that's a goal. I mean, we catch all these activities, and we're moving on. We don't really stick to all of them, all these setups that are happening. So the goal is really just if there is a good setup, if there's a A plus setup, and we are seeing this from Monday through Friday that has been runner, multi-day runner, and then there was some sort of catalyst news, and some sort of activities that we see that we can trade this every single day, why not we talk about it during our watch list? And why not we should why not we add this to our watch list to look for this in the in the upcoming weeks. So that's a goal, to see that it doesn't necessarily mean that if that stock has been running from Monday through Friday, it's going to run and have the same volume has been traded on the next Monday. So it's just it's more of an understanding of what are those top watch lists that we should have. That's why I break it down. These are really my tickers that I'm looking to see if they would have any sort of activities. If not, we move on. We go for the next next stock. That's how you should have that trading mentality. Yeah, and then beside that, I am personally finishing up the course. Soon that will be available for our annual members, and regular members can also get the benefit of a discount to purchase the course. Once it's available, I will announce it in our channel. I'm working really hard on those courses because I want it to be very unique, very special, and really helps you guys. Because I mean, my goal is to really see everyone have a good success in trading world. It's not just it's more of a creating a family of traders around yourself and helping each other. That's the mentality. It's not just if you are not going to win, there's actually no point of really helping out um, you know people. So without further ado, let's get started to our watch list. And don't forget that this is all about educational purposes, not investment advice. Please be mindful and have your own risk an amount that you're able to afford. Don't really um, get into the game of um, I guess false information out there, or um, game of gambling mindset, and have your own strategy. Find your own way to um, trade in. Don't follow anyone, and my goal is to educate people, educate my members, and hopefully this will be something for your success in the future. So last week we had this massive run up with crypto related stocks. Mara was one of them. I do also have our new swing uh, alerts that also crypto related, but I'm going to talk about what exactly has been going on with all these uh, all these runners. I think on Mara last week we didn't have any PR. It just bounced, kind of like on a revive mode from I think it was yeah, I think it's being traded for at $3 range, and then we had this massive run up on started from January 9th, which was on Monday, and actually last week, Wednesday, 2 weeks ago on Wednesday, and then on Monday, the setup kind of show itself. It break above that 450. Yeah, and I am personally not really too optimistic in you know overall in crypto for the next few months. But right now we're seeing this activities. Bitcoin few days ago went up. The whales activities, I think it went from 18 to 21,000. So I mean these are trading related. Obviously, there's nothing massive going on until we see a clear confirmation, in my opinion. So yeah, Mora, um, Stock has been up from January 9th, and we had this initial alert on that on Monday last week. I haven't seen any news on it. Obviously, this is more of a insider transaction purchase. I think the last purchase was on December, end of December, 2022. And possibly this will continues. It has over 87% of insider transaction. So I mean that's a massive number to have for the transaction. I don't see any institutional ownership on this one, which is it's already over. Not a lot of institutional actually. It's only 37%. Obviously, institutionals are more interested to invest, but they are more scared after whatever happens in the crypto space. So that they try to be more selective and be more safer, come up with a safer strategy. So Mara was also on that technical side. I'm seeing this $9 range. I mean, from $9, 880, $9 to the 971, it could be a really good gap up on the chart. Based on what I kind of want to anticipate, I really want to see this. I mean, we see this. Still trading at this in this channel, but I want to see that kind of settle down a little pull back towards that $7 range. See if it's really going to death cross and continue goes soars down, flush down. I want to see that if it would happen, or we're going to see that VWAP level kind of holds, creating that pattern of higher lows, higher low level, and then another ABC pattern. I mean, we can see that on Wednesday, it really dumped down below the VWAP. It traded below the VWAP, and then all of a sudden, it's just went back across over the VWAP, and it's just continuation the next day, and it's still continuation. But I mean, it really depends on how much volume will trade on this one. So that's kind of the goal, to see if we are going to see this massive run up again, as the crypto already ran on Saturday. So I'm expecting to see more activities on crypto related stuff. That's why I put it up there, to see if Mara can really break above that. I mean, we had this after hour as well, break above that $9 range. So it could be a good setup if in a pre-market on Monday we see a pullback, and then near the open and after the open, kind of building that support, and then I'm looking for that kind of get squeeze part setup type of thing. But don't expect too much of this. This is it's 100 million flow, so it's probably going to trade very slow. Be careful with the spread. You don't want to trade a low volume stock. Obviously, that's what I always tell you guys. Do not trade. Do not really focus on a low volume trade. At least have some criteria. I mean, obviously, you can look for a stock that is trading above 500,000 per day. I mean 500,000 per day during the day, above that level. I mean, if that's kind of your criteria, your risk is higher, unless if you're waiting for that 1-2 million shares to be traded, and then see more activity, see if it's going to be on the top four on our scanner. If not, move on. Doesn't necessarily need to trade it, and just watch it if the continuation happens. And also watch the definitely you have to watch the sympathy plays of all these crypto related. So coin, which is going to be our swing ideas for the next week. Obviously, last week we hadn't had anything. I told you guys I'm browsing, I'm seeing, I'm observing opportunities. I want to see more of you know some sort of confirmation for swings, if it's there. So I'm going to talk about this one actually uh, right after this Mara kind of thing. So keep that in mind. Mara can be really fluctuate a little bit of a bumpy road with Mara. I traded this before. It's an old runner, old friend of so many people, so many traders. Yeah, be very cautious. Be mindful if you're not seeing any setups, not seeing any volume. Do not really necessarily need to trade it, but definitely watch that sympathy. Definitely make sure that the sympathy will plays out. So the coin actually, I am looking to see if this higher price. I mean, it's a very higher price setup. Not that something that I would look for. My price criteria is definitely, as I mentioned many times, it's between that 1 to 5 and 5 to 7 8. Also, if it's a low floater stock, if it's not, it really depends on the ticker. Obviously, if it's in the mid cap area and larger cap stock area, larger cap criteria, it's more of a reliable kind of trade than all these small caps that you only have to really trade them like day trade them. So I think coin has the type of look that I am personally want to trade it in the future, as I'm looking for obviously a good entry. My goal is to just to see that if this continuation continues with the crypto and all that, and then finding a really good entry, because right now we're at this top of the channel, I mean mid channel actually, and then I don't want to really get on the board with the really bad entry. So my goal is to really to see that pull back, create that opportunity for a dip buy, if that's ever gonna happen, or if really going to like cross, I mean dead cross, and pull back more to 200, or even to like 40 44 previous actually the previous support is at 45. We do have also 48 24 here. So I want to see more pullback to see if I can get a better entry, and then setting it up for a run. I'm not gonna risk too much of this one if it's going to keep dipping. I don't think that would really make a adjustment on this. But keep that in mind. Coinbase is the only exchange that at least regulated at some level. I mean, Americans really love this exchange because of all the regulation. I mean, not all the regulation. It's more regulated than what really happened with the chaos and with the FTX. So overall, still has those positive, um, I guess positive sentiments. Positive analysts are very positive on this one, but I don't really personally like whatever the analysts say, what analyst updates and all that. I don't think you should really focus on those because it can be very unclear how they really do their research. That's why you always have to do your own due diligence before making a trade. So personally think that Coinbase already ran, but if that ever happened, if that pullbacks that I'm looking for happen for better entry. There's nothing wrong with to kind of like trade this for few weeks. Why not? I mean, there's room. There's definitely some good news out there for the company. Obviously, not in general. The crypto is not in a healthy situation. Obviously, all these exchanges are having problems. But it's still. I would say we can kind of see that advantage. That's what I'm looking for the short term, bullishness and this short term sentiment, just for that level, and then we're gonna take our profit and that's it. That should be the mindset, for the swing at least. So that's kind of our swing ideas for this week. We'll see how this will plays out. I personally going to talk about this in our live trading session soon. So have it in your mind. And then next, after Mara, I have this SHC, which was one of those funny stocks that I think came out of grave. It was died down from $30 to dumped down to $5. I think they had offering in the past, and then really sort of, I mean, kind of on a revival mode after all this. Their news just came out. I mean, their PR on. We traded this on Wednesday as well. So yeah, massive institutional ownership on this one. They also came out with the PR. That PR is a massive dark cloud hanging heavy over Sotera Health. SHC was lifted on Tuesday after the company announced it had settled a clout of lawsuit arising from alleged malfeasance by subsidiary Revival. Investor pushed its stock well higher across this. Yeah, I mean, overall, the good news for the stock was just they just lift up this lawsuit that they have against them. So that's why the stock kind of like ran up. But it's higher float. Don't forget that. Very liquid. When I traded, spread was kind of into that level of I don't really like the spread. So that's why I really don't call it a plus A setup. It's more of a C setup. So yeah, that's one thing you should be mindful and be careful if the spread is too much. So yeah, 88% institutional ownership max. Yeah, I personally want to see this. Because last week I was watching this, I was on the short side of this as well. But obviously, I don't really like to short the stock that has higher institutional level, and they came out with the news. So it's very risky to do that. However, you got to keep that in mind. Sometimes that news can continue for few days in a row, and all of a sudden, if things were change, they can really dump this back to wherever it was. We had this trade on Tuesday, and then really pull back. I was on the short side of this, and also scalped along. But the short side, it was very the timing was very much in my favor, because I really wanted to see that I was looking at this ascending channel. You can see my channels. I haven't really update my lines. You can see that ascending created that kind of exhaust mode on this, and then it pretty much really reached to the highest level. And the problem was that $18 resistant. I mean, after that, I saw this the 1877 hit, and then fake out, pull back, few times tried to really break through that 18, and I anticipated to really short it, and then I saw that huge, support buy, kept fighting. It was a very big fight between a big seller and the shorts also at that 18 level. So still continues in my opinion. So if this 18, 17 previous high breakthrough, we might see that squeeze to that $20, which can really create this opportunity for a long side. But that short on the Tuesday really dropped the stock down to 16 level, which I really appreciated, and then went back higher. This is why you should really be mindful when you're trading with the high institutional ownership stock. Also, yeah, I don't see. I did not see any filing on this one. So there's no information about their how much cash they have available. Although we can see if they have any S3 in file. I do not see, as far as I can see, I don't see any offering in place. So yeah, that's something to keep on watch. I have it on a watch list. I personally really kind of like this setup, even though it's not really an A+ setup, but I do think that there are opportunities that we can kind of focus on, and I mean there are opportunities to trade on this. So that's what I'm looking for. And the next one we have BWEN. This was also another player last week, as well as pre-market on Wednesday. BWA came out with the news. Broadwind stock gains following. Oh yeah, they got gains following 175 million wind tower order. So I mean, they have a good kind of deal news, but that doesn't mean necessarily they're going to be very positive overall in their stock action. On the daily, stock had this beautiful run up. We had this from four, I think it was from $2, and then on the pre-market that was a previous after hour, and then on the pre-market we saw a lot of activities. They do have a shelf offering, which could expire at any time. I think it was registered on 2020. A company is running out of cash. I think they only have 2 months left for their cash. So these are the criteria you can kind of like put together and see if the stock is really tradable, or it's really tradable or not. Based on this, I'm thinking that if they're going to run this up higher and then all of a sudden exercise their offering, so I will watch this. It has traded over 75 million from January 11th to 13th, so it could really get that fresh juice for upcoming Monday and Tuesday. We'll see how this plays out. I mean, on the lower volume on Friday, we saw this massive run up and a new high. That's why I decided to put it on our watch list, because the stocks still has room to really kind of show itself. I mean, the gap to $6, but we'll see how this plays out. Be very cautious on these. Could create that great opportunity for shorts are definitely wants to take advantage of this and the offering and all that together. And the last one, we had BBAI. Yeah, BBAI, which is a company that came out with the really good news. One of those a unique setup that you only see on the pre-market, and then during the day you can't even trade this. It's just only only a good short setup if you really anticipate on the long side of it, which we did in the pre-market. I think I was yeah I was trading this on our live trading. If you were if you were on a live, you can also go back rewatch it. We traded this on a live trading. I think that was a day of CPI day, CPI report day. Yes, Thursday. Um, BBAI made the day, and that's it. Nothing came out of it after market open. It was more of a short setup, and I did not really short this, but great short setup. The market open, although I think there is still some juice left because on an overall news, it's kind of on a positive side of this. Um, However, it could really stop continue this zombie activity uh, and consolidation, and then flush back down to 177, which can create that no go situation that we're not going to even look at this anymore. But they came out with the news. They secured 10-year multiplier award, 900 over for 900 million contract with U.S. Air Force. So I mean, it's a news and a contract deal with the U.S. government. So it can create that uh, good sense and optimism over the stock. But don't really rely on these stuff. Things can be very opposite and can trade differently. They don't have any offering. That's also another thing. However, when the stock has offering, they really want to pump the stock to exercise their offering. They don't have any offering, no institutional ownership over. But the good thing about what they have so far is over 97% insider ownership, which can create a long term vision over a few days. But I do not like the stock to be very long term, in a long term outlook because of their price. I mean, $2, $3. I mean, we traded this. I traded this so many times. These type of setups are very common. They came out with these good news, and then they die down as always. So don't really rely on the news, but see the technical side of it. I still think that if that $2 holds, that's why I put it decided to put it on the watch list. If that $2 holds and we see more volume comes back in, I mean shorts cover, dip buyers. If they decided to do something and then they look at the news, because that news can really affect another can combine or can take effects in a few days. It doesn't necessarily mean that if the news came out on this day, it doesn't make sense for the other day. These type of news though, not any type of news that you see out there. So that's kind of the idea. Or they might perhaps release another press release that can create another opportunity for the Bulls. We'll see how this plays out. Anyway, that's gonna be the wrap for our this week watch list. So hope you guys enjoyed and benefit. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and newsletter is always free, sent out to your email on our website. Just write down your email, and you will get the whole watch list as well. So take care, team. Talk to you guys on tomorrow, Tuesday.